Hello, Karina here. Welcome back to the Nourish series. Today's day 5 and I'm going to be talking about just like what do you do when you have too much on your plate and you feel overwhelmed and you don't know what to do first. Okay? I don't know if you're like me, but I definitely tend to put too much on my plate and I always regret it, but I can sometimes be a yes person and I get excited about things and therefore I want to do all of them right now. But in our earlier video, we did talk about how you can't do everything right now. So what do you do first? Well, if I have a hard time deciding what to focus my energy on first, I remember to always come back to the basics. If my basics aren't good, if I'm not in a good place with my basics, then I need to recalibrate, get back to my basics, and then I can move forward with the thing that is most important. So when I talk about coming back to the basics, I'm talking about your oxygen, okay? So that's why we're doing the breathing series. Your water. Are you dehydrated? Because if you do not have enough water running in your system, then it's just not going to function properly. Your brain is not going to function properly. So ask yourself, when was the last time I took a chugged a glass of water? If you cannot recall the last time you drank water, go drink water right now, okay? Coming back to sleep, right? Are you not sleeping well? And what can you do to get back to sleeping better? Another basic is bathing. So because I'm a yes person, so there's something about highly sensitive people that we tend to, I'm losing connection, but we tend to neglect our self-care. So I don't know if you guys can hear me, I keep going in and out, but we neglect our self-care and we forget to take care of ourselves. So have you showered recently? When was the last time you showered? Sometimes I just forget to shower, or just like I have that greasy hair look because I'm stressed out, and sometimes I do need to shower every day, but sometimes it's better that I don't wash my hair every day, and maybe just my body, but like water is super cleansing, even just to cleanse your energy and to like wash off the day. So like I said, if you don't know what to do, come back to your basics. The basics are oxygen, which we're doing together, water, your sleep, bathing, right? So your self-care in regards to bathing, and then the last one is food. So the best way you can really discern how food affects you is by doing a little experiment. You can do an elimination diet. So you can take out all the allergen foods. So for whatever reason, allergens tend to really act up for highly sensitive people. In my earlier days, I was a health coach and I did a program called Feel Lighter in 21 Days. And we did an elimination diet, and I taught everyone how to listen to their body and discern which foods were impacting their body in a negative way and affecting them. Because we wanted to feel lighter, right? That is the goal. So just same thing here. If you want to feel nourished, but you keep feeding yourself with foods that are not nourishing you, then it's going to deplete you, and it's going to take even more energy to get to the normal state, right? So like we hear all the time, like, I wish I was normal. Well, there are things that you can do to feel normal, and one of the best things you can do is really understand what foods bother you, what foods trigger you. So for me, dairy is like a huge trigger. I cannot have dairy. I can have a little bit of butter. Gluten I can have for a couple days, but then I have to take a break from it. So I'm at a point now where I can have some gluten and be okay, but for a long time I had to cut gluten out completely for a while. What else? Other allergens. Corn is a big one. Corn can create inflammation in the body, and then when you're inflamed, then things like depression and anxiety kick up because your body's not operating from a place of calm, it's operating from a place of inflammation. What else? Soy, that could be another one for people. What else? All the allergen foods. Peanuts, right? And shellfish, like everyone might have, and that's the other thing is like some people might have sensitivities to foods like fruit and certain vegetables. Like I have sensitivity to nightshades, so like peppers and tomatoes and especially eggplant. So I really try to minimize the amount that I eat from those, okay? So anytime I'm feeling like too chaotic, too stressed, too overwhelmed, I just feel completely in a stress spiral, I come back to my basics. And a lot of the times I have to check in with myself and be like, have I been eating too much gluten, or have I, and actually another one I wanted to add to the list is sugar. So highly sensitive people can tend to have sugar imbalance issues. So be mindful of the sugar that you have. If you if you can have maple syrup over like high fructose corn syrup or corn syrup in general, there are certain sugars that the body metabolizes better. So maybe honey is better to metabolize than corn syrup, right? Or like white sugar, white processed sugar. How you ingest those, how much you ingest those is all going to affect your level of overstimulation and overwhelm. The more you bombard your body with all this stuff, the more stressed you're going to feel, right? It's just like common sense. So come back to your basics, focus on your basics, and if one of the basics is just completely out of alignment, that's a place to start, okay? Now, the breathing exercise for today, to nourish yourself, to come back to yourself. The place I want you to come back to today to nourish yourself is your heartbeat, okay? So if we're going to be talking about coming back to the basics today, and, you know, when you're in a you're stress spiral, like, what do you come back to? I come back to my heartbeat, okay? You can say you come back to your breath. No, today we're pairing the breath with the heartbeat. If you can come back to and slow everything down, right? Because when you're feeling overwhelmed, everything is piling up and there's just too many things that are important and trying to get your attention. So if you slow everything down, then you can actually listen to what is important and what you can actually put off for another day, do positive procrastination, right? So I'm actually outside. I'm going to do this with my feet on the ground, on the earth, to help recalibrate my heartbeat. Okay, so when you're feeling anxious, your heartbeat might go really quickly, really, really quick. We want to slow down the heart rate. And actually, when you breathe very shallowly, then it can increase stress, right, and anxiety. So we're going to slow down the breath so that we can pay attention to the heartbeat. Okay, so as you are, just put your hand on your heart. Excuse me. And sometimes you don't feel your heart beating in your chest very strongly. Sometimes you feel it in your hands. Sometimes you feel it in your excuse me. Sometimes you feel your heart beating in your stomach. Sometimes in your neck, okay? So pay attention to where you feel your heart beating the strongest. Where do you feel that pulsation in your body the strongest? Now, let's take a moment and take a few minutes together to slow down. I'm going to stop talking. I can tell my throat, it's like got a little tickle. It's like, Karina, stop talking. Do this exercise, okay? Just relax, slow down. Everything's okay. All right? Exhaling all the breath out. And noticing where in your body you feel the pulsing the most. In your hands, in your neck, in your stomach, maybe in your chest. Okay, wherever you feel the pulse the strongest, put your hand there. All I want you to do is, if you have any thought, put that thought on a shelf, come back to the pulsing. The only thing I want you to focus on is the pulsing. Sometimes you really have to slow down the breath so much that you're not really breathing deeply, but you're just breathing very quietly. Okay, so tuning into where you feel that heart beating, pulsation. Remembering But the only reason why you feel overwhelmed right now is because you're not present. You're not in your body. You're not connected to this moment. So if you focus on your heart, if you focus on your pulse, that is a foundational piece to come back to. So you can come back to yourself, reassess what it is, what do I need to do right now? Because when you're present and you ask that question, what do I need to do right now? That answer is going to pop up and you're going to get your answer, and then you're going to be able to go do that. And then you're going to ask again, what is my next step? And you're going to do it again. Okay? And you follow this over and over until you get into a state of presence and a state of flow. That is what my day looks like. That is how I get everything done as a mom, which a lot of times isn't a lot, but it often is a lot, because if I'm present and I'm asking myself, what do I need to do right now, instead of just blindly scrolling through Facebook, I get a lot done. And you will too. And then you won't feel so overwhelmed that there's so many things to do and you don't have the time to do it, right? You have the time, you're just not letting yourself be present to actually get it done. So slow it down with your breath, come back to your pulse, ask yourself, what do I need to do right now? Come back, and then which foundational piece needs your attention? Is it my breath? Is it my water? Do I need to drink water? Is it sleep? Do I need to go take a nap? Is it bedtime if you're watching this at 1 o'clock in the morning? Is it some sort of something related to bathing yourself and cleaning yourself or cleaning your space? Okay, that's another one I didn't talk about before, but very important as well. What is something you can clean in your space? And then also number 5 is food. Okay, what have you been eating too much of? And what can you just kind of take a break with? And come back to eating more whole foods, more green foods, more things that aren't processed. Okay, so those things, processed food isn't bad. It's only bad when that's all you're eating. Okay, so that is what I want to share with you today. Let me know how it goes for you. Come back to your heartbeat. Come back to your foundation. Come back to the basics. Let me know in the comments how you like this. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.